Hello my friends, welcome to this Yunara guide, and we quickly talk about basically everything you need to play this champion. Who am I to even tell you this? I played professional league for many years already and was 1.2 KLP this season already, highest rated German AD carry, and now let's straight get into the video. So when it comes to item build, you usually have two choices. The first one is to go Kraken first into Fiend Hunter Bolts, that's like the normal build, and then you can kind of decide if you want to be more tanky, then you can go Shield Bow IE, Shield Bow LDR or stuff like this, but usually it will look like this. So it's your core. And then also when you feel like you are safe, you need more damage, you can also go IE into this, for example. It always depends on the game. Also, when you're watching this video, like keep in mind it's currently patch 2603, so maybe the builds will change a bit, but this is the core for now. Then the other build we still have is the Blade build. So you're basically just swapping Blade and Kraken around. Blade can be really useful if enemies have a lot of poke, for example. I like building this into mages. So then on mid waves especially, I have a lot of lifesteal and can still go like the same path basically. That's it kinda to builds already. How do we even play her basically? So how does this champ even work? Her passive is that her critical strikes are dealing 10% magic damage. That is important to know, and that's why also crit on her is really good. When we are using our Q and we are using like auto attacks on minions, it will give us 1 stack. If we are hitting, then it will, like if we are hitting a champion, it gives us 2 stacks, you see here, right? Now with 4 autos I have my Q. Now the most important one is our Q spell, of course, and we can auto attack reset with our Q spell. So usually when we have stack, what we want to do is we auto, right? Okay, and then auto Q immediately. It's super important that you always do this whenever you have Q up. So auto attack resetting, super big. Bam, bam. Okay. Then W, we have 2 versions of a W. The first one is this one. You just throw it, and that's basically it. It's slowing the enemy. Then her E, she gets movement speed and increased movement speeds when she's moving towards an enemy champion. That's pretty important to know, because usually our combo will look like W, and then we're running towards an enemy champion, and then we are way faster, right? So if we're just running away, the movement speed is not as big as if we would run into the enemy, for example. So chasing enemies or like chunking them, running on mid lane waves, like for example here, let's say you're here, okay, you're W and E and then you're moving in, and the enemy is slowed really hard and you're really fast. And then most important one is your ultimate. Your ultimate will immediately trigger your Q, and your E now has 2 different spells. So when you ult, you see my Q is already procced, and now on W you have this, and on E you're having a dash instead of movement speed. And that's basically all of her mechanics. Now how do we combine these things basically? So when we want to combine it, we usually, whenever we are ulting, we want to press E first, because our E is movement speed, and if we are ulting, then you see my E is immediately up. And then when it comes to W, for example, it will have 2 seconds. So usually the best damage combo is to W E and then ult. You see I have E back up right now, and my W has like 2 seconds cooldown. So W E ult, and then you have your dash available. You can use it like any time. And then you have your W as well. What you can also do is this EW combo, used pretty often. You just use E into W, and then that's kinda it already. So most damage combo is we're here, we're using WE into ult, and then we can start autoing, and now we can use like our 2 spells that we have up however we want. Let's say we want to chase an enemy, EW. Okay, and then we can just hit again. So from then, it's pretty simple to play this champion. EW, you can do this into any direction. And then when you're swapping back to your normal form, you will also get your EW back again. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to either reach out in the comment section or write me on Discord. And then I'm wishing you a nice day. Goodbye.